Tuesday, the 17th. And when it is Tuesday, it's the Raw Leadership Talk. Coming to you today at 8:30 instead of 8 due to an avoidable circumstance. But I'm glad, irrespective of the challenges that be, I'm here with you. My name is Dan Mugera. I'm your coach. I'm your speaker, bringing to you the Raw Leadership Talk. Today we look at mentalities, two mentalities, scarcity versus abundance. I don't own the right to this music, the brain power music, classical music. But I'm glad that you could tune in. Where are you tuning in from? To be good to know. Are you in Nairobi? Are you in Mombasa? Are you in Kisumu? Are you in other parts of Kenya? Or you're tuning in from diaspora, in Europe, the United States of America? You're tuning in from other African countries or in Asia? I will be glad to know. We are live on Facebook, on our page, the Africa Center for Public Speaking, on my timeline, and also on YouTube. So you can start a watch party and get your friends to learn about these two mentalities that we'll be looking at today. And in a moment, we're going to start discussing about the two mentality. But what comes to your mind when you hear scarcity? What comes to your mind when you hear abundance? To be great to hear your thoughts today. Two mentalities, scarcity versus abundance. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. You know, we fight and get disturbed by two mentalities in the world: a scarcity mentality and an abundance mentality. But the saddest thing is that majority of the people in the world are consciously or unconsciously living with a scarcity mentality. And let me tell you this, it is very easy to find yourself ensnared by a scarcity mentality. Why? This is because we live in a world, as Miles Monroe argues, is full of leadership crisis, moral degradation, political confusion, and economic dilemmas. We see economic dilemmas every now and then. For example, you know, we have a lot of poor countries that have wrong priorities. And we also have a lot of quote-unquote rich countries that still has a lot wrong priorities. So it's very easy for you to imagine a rich country, but then you find poor people in a rich country. It's very easy to find poor people in a rich country. Now, there could be different circumstances that causes people to get ensnared with a scarcity mentality. But today we want to look at that reality. Miles Monroe argues that we are in a situation of leadership crisis, moral degradation, political confusion, and economic dilemmas. The pandemic has increased the level of economic dilemmas. There are so many economies today that are in recession. And this is because of the situation caused by the pandemic. There are a lot of people that have lost their jobs. There are a lot of people that are living, they have lost their businesses, or their businesses are in a terrible situation. There are a lot of people that are living with just enough. And it's very easy when you find yourself in such circumstances to entertain a particular thought line. For you to sleep and wake up thinking there is no enough. Why? Because you're experiencing it. You're experiencing it. It's very difficult to think abundance in the middle of a terrible situation of lack. A terrible situation of lack. But today I want us to discuss what is that force individuals to look at the world as a place of scarcity, a place where resources are barely enough for everyone, a place where there is no enough that can satisfy you. A scarcity mentality makes us fight, hate, and kill one another. We have seen it in our own country. Besides, the scarcity mentality breeds corruption, unfair competition, and greed. Scarcity mentality breeds corruption, unfair competition, and greed. And you want to look at the political leaders, the double interest that they have, You find people are earning a salary, but they are in parliament or senate to cut deals with governments, both county government and the central government. Why? Because a scarcity mentality breeds corruption. We find no problem with scrambling for wealth, regardless of the means which will enable us to achieve that. Thank you, Daniel Musibi, for joining in, Caroline Wangamati for tuning in. So we struggle with a scarcity mentality from very early stages of life. With each passing day and year, we affirm the conviction that we already established within the spheres of our minds. They believe that we need to scramble and do anything to attain wealth or at least survive. And because of that, we position ourselves every day to search, to attain, to make one more shilling, one more dollar. And most of the time, the drive behind this is because there is no enough. So we need to gather as much as possible. And look at your right and your left every day, and you see people, that some of them, by all means, they seem to have attained the wealth, but they will still tell you they still don't have enough. And those who still are down there, they will still tell you life is very difficult. There is no enough. But let me ask you this question. How much is enough? How much is enough? How much is enough? What is that you get? What amount of money or properties that when given to you, you will say, now I have enough? How much of that? Ask yourself that question and meditate on it. The implication of such a mentality is that no matter how many resources you accumulate, you will permanently be afraid of losing it. And so today we have people that have accumulated a lot of resources, never mind the means which they use to accumulate. But you know what? They are permanently afraid they are going to lose those resources. Now, this impedes our enjoyment of the present moment. It impedes our enjoyment of the present moment. Instead, we always worry about the uncertainties of life. We worry that something could happen to us, and we find ourselves in a situation where we lose everything that we have. We are in constant fear that we are going to lose the little or the much that we have. Reason? A scarcity mentality. A scarcity mentality. Now, it is said that life is a study of attention. Whatever you focus on grows. Whatever you concentrate on glows. So what are you concentrating on right now? Are you concentrating on a scarcity mentality, or you are concentrating on an abundance mentality? Are you developing an abundance mentality that there is enough for everyone in this world? That you are not designed to live as if you are in an oven? That irrespective of the challenges that be, somehow, somewhere, the forces of nature will push you, and by the help of God, you will be able to have something every day to eat, to have something every day to enjoy, to have something every day to develop your life and build your life to the next level. So this is very key to move us to the reality of destiny. This is very key to move us to the reality of destiny. So one needs to concentrate on what is good, pure, virtuous, valuable, praiseworthy. This way, then, you allow your mind to linger on the positive things, on the realities of destiny. And this way, you acquire good and irreversible, acceptable attributes that enables you not to live in constant worry, but live with an assurance that there is enough. That today you may not have, but tomorrow you will have. That this life provides a chance and opportunity for all of us if we put forth what we need to do and put forth our gift and talent and put forth our skills, then we can be able to soar like eagles. On the contrary, when one concentrates on what is bad, evil, distasteful, absurd, and mediocre, one will find oneself deep in the river of such matter. Allow mediocrity to be an entertainment in your mind, and soon you will find yourself functioning from a mediocrity point of view. Let me tell you this. One's worldview will, as such, constantly be predisposed by one's train of thoughts. So what kind of train of thoughts have you allowed in your mind? What kind of train of thoughts have you allowed in your mind? If you think scarcity, then you attract scarcity. You see, there's a law of attraction that lingers within our minds. If you think abundance, then you begin to attract abundance. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about extravagance here. I'm not talking about you pushing your mind to unrealities of hope. That's not what I mean. What I mean is beginning to allow your mind or develop your mind to function from the reality of destiny. That yes, you could be in a challenge, but then how do you allow your mind to function and your imagination to go beyond the limit of your circumstances to begin looking at the reality of life, not from a narrow perspective, but from an abundance perspective? Because yes, you could also be having money and wealth, but look, you can still be bedeviled by a scarcity mentality. And we see that from people every day, scrambling to get more than enough, even though they have. Why? Because of a scarcity mentality. So never think, let nobody deceive you that when you have accumulated a lot of resources, a lot of money, that you have saved from a scarcity mentality. No, in fact, most people who have accumulated more than enough, they are still scared of losing that. They are still scared of losing that. So what we are discussing today is beginning to develop your mind, regardless of your circumstance, to begin enjoying the moment and looking at the world as a place that has enough for everyone, regardless of the perspectives and thoughts and circumstances that be, that always try to push us to think there is not enough for everyone. Now, let me tell you this. To view life from an abundance point of view is not to daydream. It's not to daydream. It does not amount into ignorance of the situation that be. On the contrary, it is the mental recognition of the effects of positive thinking as far as resources are concerned. It is an understanding of the available gifts by God, the Creator, and the accessibility of the gifts to humanity. When you look at life from that perspective, then you begin to change the way you reason. You begin to change the way you think. When you see another person has abundance of resources, you do not begin to think from the perspective of they have taken what I had. They should give me some. But you begin to look at life from the perspective of if they can get that, if they can prosper, I can also prosper. You don't begin looking at life from a selfish point of view. That when you have, you begin to think, this is mine. And so you become a reservoir instead of you becoming a river or a conduit of blessing, where blessings or resources pass through you to empower other people. So whether you are on the other side or on the other side, the side of you have it or the side you don't have it, all of us can still function from an abundance mentality. You want peace in your life? You want to live a life with enjoyment? Then you got to develop an abundance mentality. Friends, it will take you to that reality of destiny, that no matter the challenges that be and circumstances that are with us, even in this situation that we are in right now, there's still more than enough for all of us. And so when we function from that point of view, our mental faculties will begin to attract that reality and push us to an imagination that causes us to function in the best way possible. Let me tell you this, that the subconscious mind is therefore based on what it is fed on. So what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your mind with? If you're feeding your mind with bad things, not enough, life is tough, terrible situations are here with us, we are doomed, we are not going anywhere, we are trapped. Hey, come on, you're going to live with self-pity. You're going to live with a lot of fear every day. But if you transform your mind and begin to think, challenges are there, but we shall overcome. We can make it in life. There is more than enough. I have skills and talents. I can put my gifts into action. There is somebody somewhere waiting to hear from me, waiting for my capacity to empower them. There is somebody somewhere with an opportunity for me. There are strengths that I have developed that can take me into the reality of this. When you begin to think from that perspective, then that by itself, regardless of what you have or not, it's an abundance mentality. Because you are looking at life from an opportunity point of view. You're looking at life from the reality of how it was designed to be, not what we have made it to be. You know, let me tell you this, that life is very simple, but we make it complicated. Life is very simple. It's us who make it complicated. But let me tell you this. One of the mentality formation tragedies is the depravity of allowing extrinsic and not intrinsic factors affect us. We allow extrinsic and not intrinsic factors affect us. Over time, these issues end up affecting us terribly. And so we become victims of extrinsic factors instead of understanding that we can develop ourselves through intrinsic factors. Most people are bigger on the outside and smaller on the inside. And that's why challenges of life terribly affect them and crushes them. Today, I challenge you to be bigger on the inside. I challenge you to develop an abundance mentality from the inside. I challenge you to deal and transform yourself from a scarcity mentality from the inside. You got to deal with the inside before you can begin to see the results on the outside. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been two mentality, scarcity versus abundance. And I enjoy bringing to you this discussion, and I want to believe that it's developing you and taking you to another level. Thank you very much for tuning in today. You can share this broadcast with your friends if you believe in this content that I'm sharing with you, and that somebody somewhere needs to hear this. You are ambassadors of an abundance mentality. You are ambassadors of the Raw Leadership Talk. I will encourage you then to contact us through the information or contacts that are passing on your screen. You can visit our website, www.publicspeakingtc.org, or send us an email through info@publicspeakingtc.org, or give us a call. Give us a call. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are currently doing an intake for the last class of public speaking, the professional speakers course that is set to begin on the 23rd of this month. And we are also doing an intake for the first cohort of the new course, Mentality Change 101, based on my new book, Eradicating a Poverty Mentality. And you want to join this course and learn more about changing or eradicating a poverty mentality. But deeper than that, how do we transform our mentalities in different aspects of life? Not only in the issues of wealth or poverty, but also in different aspects of life that seem to affect us every day. I will be glad to hear your feedback. You can send me a message, via the phone number, text us, or through our website, text us a message, or even go to Messenger and just text me, and I will respond to you. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. See you next Tuesday.